God. Okay, so we last left off where you had just finished defending yourselves from a giant and what seemed to be his slave army as they continued to pour up the pyramid that was defiled, as the lizard folk you now know as Bajik was purifying it from the defiling rituals that they had cast on it and besmirching marks. During oh god, Coltrane, just as this combat was going on, the giant was simply just launching brick after brick that he kept finding on the ground, or stone after stone, at the entire party as you defended yourselves from all these orcs. Bajik was an immense help with constantly keeping you all healed up, as well as his wyvern holding one of the fronts as he assisted all of you. After an immense battle and a huge pile of hundreds of dead orcs lay on the temple, you all finally make way after the hill giant that was extremely heavily armored started making his way up the temple and was immediately told to cease and that he was not allowed to step on such sacred grounds by an orc that you found out to be by the name of Zobgron, and which Keshi yelled out to see if he would ever she would ever find him on the field of battle, and which is how you got it. And before leaving, his supposed compatriot had run her fingers across the air and shown dancing flames as she kind of glared at Keshi Freeman talking to Zobgron. So, after which, Bajik, ecstatic from the helpful defense from the demons that he now knows, he offered up the most valuable thing he could think of that demons have always seemed to covet, and which was a softball-sized ruby. You don't know the price of it yet, but you know it's definitely extremely valuable, and it's been polished to a very nice sheen to just get rid of the imperfections on the outside, and it hasn't been carved yet. Which I believe you took that, Argent.
Yeah.
And immediately put it in the bag. After which, Bajik wanted to give you a more proper gift and led you to his small but modest hut out in the jungle. It's more of a marsh area, but as you go further out and kind of look around the area, you could see that, though fairly modest, has a very nice amount of plants around it. They seem to be purposely grown, very obviously set in different places where they would grow faster or in more copious amounts. This seems to be like his own kind of personal valley of homestead and kind of material gathering as he slowly starts making his way. And Jandrin and Ilmar are kind of nervous, still pretty beat up from the battle. Ilmar and Velnak more than anyone else. Kesh, you recovered pretty nicely, even though the bricks are the ones that did the worst damage. Velnak had received quite a copious headshot from one of the bricks from the giant. Which, at this point, he had spent a good portion of time collecting a few of his other supplies and making the requested items that you've given him by chance, though they don't look as refined as this steel or other such items you're used to. They still have a very nice elegance and a firm power to them. Though they look primitive, they are extraordinarily well made and enchanted to the point of expectancy.
Keshi just can't. She can't stop staring at Velnak's head and the giant, like, goose egg on it.
Yeah, there's been quite a huge lump on Velnak's head for a while now, and a little concerning.
Any bigger, and we'll have to name it.
I've named it Joffrey.
Sir Joffrey.
Does his wealth have a title of nobility?
It does now.
While he's enchanting everything, I would like to record everything that we've learned so far about the to record what we learned before we were attacked by orcs about the surrounding area, because I'm pretty certain we've learned enough to be mostly done with this expedition and head back.
Yeah. You would definitely have enough confirmable evidence that if any of these parties were to get close enough, that they would obviously pour over in hordes just to, even if it seemingly isn't sports, shows that they have a definite danger about them if this is their idea of thinning the population.
Yeah.
In which you could also tell, especially from what the giant has done, that none of the any higher ranking denizens of these lands seemingly don't care whatsoever for the lives of the slaves below them, and even the slaves below them seem willing to take death over returning to servitude most of the time. But though it is very easy to tell that those slaves were probably the bottom of the heel and have clearly been stepped on their entire lives.
At least some people will pay good money for that.
Oh my god.
So, Bejik, how many orcs would you say there are that the Red King has control over?
Control over? Not many. Very loyal servants, high within ranks, refuse to leave servitude of the Red King. Many others leave in panic and dare not become next sacrifices to appease his spirit as he sleeps. Though many have said these sacrifices were to try and purify what has been done and wake him. For many of the tribes in these areas, probably some of the worst are the ones closer to the mountains. Some that are further out have stuck to their own societies, making new kingdoms amongst each other. They fear not on the other orcs unless it be one of the children or the great snake lords. Both greater masters and far stronger than many of the orcs in these areas.
So we've got the Red King, Greater Snake Lords.
Did you know that Zobgron fella?
Very arrogant orc. He fights with other tribes for sport.
Sounds like me and him have something in common.
I would imagine demons such as yourselves would enjoy stacking skulls.
Oh, damn.
Why do you call me a demon? I'm very obviously an orc.
You've been blessed, though. As he kind of like points to your features on your face and other parts that are not as brutal.
Oh, damn.
I guess they really don't have humans in these lands.
You've been honored by, well, your ancestors have been honored to sleep with demons. Purify your blood more. Give you strength. Clearly you have strength from demons.
Maybe it's not worth it to correct him. I kind of say to the rest of them. Very well. What kind of rank does he have? Do you know? Is he very, very high up?
Yes, he's just the right hand of the chieftain of his forests. The jungles hide them well. They defile temples every chance they get. They have attacked many lizard folk for the amusement of eliminating slaves they cannot feed. I have killed many of his kin, and yet they still breed like rats. Have you come looking for something in these lands? I have not seen such unique clothing or weapons.
Well, we come from a distant land. We came here to settle, and other reasons. But our mission out here in the jungle is to find out what kind of threat these orcs and lizards and everything else pose to our settlement.
So more have come from the Nine Below?
From over the seas. We're not from hell. We're not demons.
Not demons. You could tell he's like almost perplexed by this and thinking very heavily on it.
You're familiar with boats, yes?
Yes.
Well, we took a big boat across the big water to here.
Oh.
Across the big water is big land with many, many humans and orcs and half-orcs and all the races.
Humans. You could tell like something finally turns on in his head, like pink skins.
Yes.
The Snake Lord's preferred blessing to breed with.
Ugh. Well, thankfully none of us are human.
Many have received the honor of receiving a child from Snake Lords. Though it is terrifying to most. It is of the highest honor. It gives them great powers. The children move up in ranks. Not as great as the Snake Lords themselves, but with the blessing of gods.
But these Snake Lords, they're a part of this general threat, right? This general Fiery One's army here?
Yes.
Is that what I'm understanding?
They are the children of the Red King. He bred them with reason, blessed them. The Red King may remain pure, like many other lizardkin. He ascended and gained true power, like the great serpents of the skies. Many have been banished from these lands, though. The other sister and brother gods saw fit when they sealed him to either eliminate those who stayed or to let them leave these lands. Very few remain, only on good favor of the other gods and goddesses. Right machinations. Humongous stone people were erected and enchanted. Some truly beyond imagination.
So, as to our mission out here, I have to ask, how likely do you think it is that this force, this group, whatever you want to call it, is going to attack the human settlement in the south?
I do not know of these settlements. The great waters have always been cleared. None ever travel that way from fear of another city disappearing. The great water swallowed an entire goddess's city after such many of them fled in fear.
So they don't travel. And Josh, it is like to the south, right? That, as I remember, that our like settlement here is.
Yeah, southwest a little.
Okay. And so he's saying that they don't even go down there. I'm not talking about like crossing the ocean.
Oh no, it's very clear. He's meaning like to keep clear of that coast. That there was a possible city in that direction that had vanished by what he's saying, the Great Water.
I'll make a note of that. We might want to look into that.
There are more pure temples. Some have been abandoned, some that have been silenced. A shrine not far from here, if you seek blessings. Many orcs and others have traveled there, seeking knowledge or to meditate with the spirits to learn more. I have done so regularly.
Ah.
I have learned my spells from the pools there. Small they be, but potent in wisdom they are.
How do you say his name? Bejik or Bejik?
Bajik, I believe.
Yeah.
Bejik?
Yep.
So you fight against this great power and unstoppable army. Why?
I still believe in the old gods. The one that vanished and left our children to rule these lands long ago. The twin gods that split apart. We still wait for them to return whole to guide us. The Red King sought to call her back. To call them back. To reunite them. This angered his brothers and sisters. They said it was not right. And they began war with these quarrels. I remain true to the ways. I seek to worship our great gods that have left us with these blessed lands, and to remain that all the children she had left to be worshipped as they should be, not to quarrel or bleed each other.
I see. Do you have allies? Is there anyone else who is against this great force?
There is few of us. I have brothers that remain near the flowing amber veins that still seep and weep near the mountains. These areas are dangerous. many of the guardians there, many have tried to come to destroy them. Though even as we fled, killing many of them, they have not been able to destroy or corrupt them due to the protection of the God's Amber. The Red King has made all the attempts folly. None were ever blessed, and those who are left have sought and made their own kingdoms near the Red Mountains. Though they have blackened over the days with ash and sorrow, I see them reigniting one day, and the Red King coming down on those who foolishly abandon such beautiful ways to live. Slaves are the most opposing, but when he awakens, they will remember their place swiftly.
I am so confused. So the Fire King is a good guy?
He's a traditionalist.
From Bajik's perspective, you're getting that like he still believes that the Fire King would reenact everything as it was and not leave it to everyone killing each other. But at the same time, part of those ideals was them still being slaves under the lizard folk and other.
Because for some reason I remember those like lizards, like I thought they worshipped that god. Maybe it was a different one.
It was the Lava Man.
The Lava Man, yeah, obviously he was worshipping the Fire King, but so it was just the crazy guy that we killed. Don't mention it to this guy.
So far, that's the only orc you've seen who still worships the Red King. He might be a remnant in what Bajik references.
You know, actually, yeah, I want to ask him about that guy.
Oh no.
I mean, what?
Well, we kill them if they're buddies. They both worship
he was
the same
threatening
god.
us and trying to kill us. I don't think it was entirely our fault. I'll ask. Relax.
Okay.
Bejik, the reason that we're out here in the first place is we had an interesting run-in with somebody who claimed to be from the Red King. The leader of the frontier town got very worried. Do you know where all the traditionalist worshippers of the Red King are? I'd like to talk to them.
Some remain in fire mines, making armor from rocks. Many of them there still very loyal slaves, but slaves nonetheless. The priests guard the embers. The king's hand-chosen warriors of might and strength. They sleep in his amber, waiting for the call.
Do you see any reason why followers of your god would want to kill everyone in our frontier town?
Years of war. Another opposing kingdom. People of new and different sights need to be put into place in their vision to join the ranks of slaves until proven.
So that's what you believe? It just
Putting
seems
him on the
like
spot. He's being helpful.
I mean no offense, Biji, but it just seems like there's going to be no peace with any faction here. We just want to live peacefully and not be murdered in our sleep.
Orcs do not.
Or taken in chains.
Orcs care not. They wish all for join their ranks, so they are not the only one under heel. But they do not see what I see. I see the great demonic powers within all of you.
I think Keshi chuckles a little bit at that.
You all have the same abilities and gifts. Some even the same looks as the Queens of Sacrifice. She still sits within the great crater of the Red Mountains. She still takes sacrifices for wisdom, though many fear approaching her. Their souls never remain intact.
Real quick, out of character. I just want to start laughing every time we ask him a question. He goes on a tangent about some other legend or myth or this so and so, the floating city of old, or the ancient Red Queen, and he has all this knowledge, and it just is a lot to take in.
Actually, his only company for several centuries has been his wyvern that is mentally retarded.
Yes.
You just see that crooked look after the last brick that hit it in the face.
I think it just lost precious few brain cells.
That'll cost you an intelligence point.
Anyway, sorry.
Velnak, can you think of anything you want to ask?
No, all I can think of was this headache.
You took a really good brick. I'm surprised you even remember your name.
Were you?
You know what, Brad?
And you, Flora?
Roll me a d20 and try and make a save with a -2.
You are too cruel.
Oh, maybe if I could type roll.
Yep. Alright, good. You still remember the ring.
The ring.
I remember the ring?
Yep. You still
Where's
remember.
my ring?
Josh, I still have Brad's character sheet.
Alright.
I mean, it's not like it's an urgent matter, I'm just saying. Flora, do you have anything you wish to ask him?
No, not particularly.
I feel like we've gotten the information, at least that we were tasked to get. But I don't know how much more we want to dig.
At a point, have any of you ever approached his hut when he was making these items?
I would have gone in with him if he wasn't going to stop me.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
You clearly would have seen that he has the same kind of blow dart gun as the other lizard.
Damn, I wanna ask him about that then. So earlier I mentioned the amber darts that cause chickens to grow mutations and people to horribly deform and die.
You appear to have one.
You appear to have an identical blowgun to the one we saw used on a couple of orcs.
Yes. I used to be tasked with giving out punishments.
And that is the chosen tool?
Of course. It's very rare and sullen that many have been able to escape the wrathful blood.
Well, one of a lizard person used that device and the poison to melt a whole bunch of our people and also some orcs near our encampment. What do you suppose that means?
Then they have sought the ire from that person. He saw fit to exempt judgment.
Does that mean that there is a conclave or army near us then? Or I don't know what a group of your people would be called.
Our tribesmen have been pre-selected for some. Belgique was a fellow executor of such punishments. I would take the angered lord's amber, and I would give the assailant or criminal or slave exactly what they deserved.
Yes, I get the purpose of it, but it's happening. That happened to our people. What do you think that means? Is war coming?
Possibly. If it was many, then yes. If only one, they were seeking slaves.
They killed an expedition from our settlements. I believe that's what it was, right, Argent?
It was a scouting party, if memory serves me correct.
Yeah, scouting party. Down to a man, horribly mutated, or melted, etc.
Yes, the king has very twisted visions of punishment once his blood flows through them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask if there's a cure for the blood?
Such knowledge would have to be earned.
On your knees, boy.
Oh!
No, just kidding.
Only a gift or sacrifice can earn or warrant this knowledge. Once learned must not be taught, lest you seek the ire of a Red King.
So that queen in the crater might be able to tell me is what you're saying.
Yes. But if you go there, be sure to bring someone to give a soul for.
Is it a soul for every person you bring there, or for every question you ask?
For every question.
Oh dear.
I don't think we should be messing with any of that.
As much as I like knowledge, I don't like giving, using people's souls as currency to talk to somebody.
The others that have tried without sacrifice, they've been giving tasks that amuse her. Others impossible, some simple or shameful.
Vajika, I have a question for you. It's pertinent to what we're trying to figure out about keeping our settlement safe. So obviously there's some sort of tribe or group of your people near our people, and they've shown hostility. As you described, it was probably a sign of war, or they want us as slaves. If we were to go to war with them, would you be on their side? Or would you not care about your brethren?
I would not care.
Oh, good, because, yeah, we're totally gonna kill them. So how would we find them, by the way? I didn't want to offend him if he was like, no, they're my bros, I keep in touch with them. I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
So how could we find them? We need to strike first.
The temples would be the most obvious. They are not far from their tribes.
Do we have a map, Argent?
We have the map that was drawn on the leather. I don't really know if you could describe it as accurate. It's more of a child's drawing than a map.
Bijik, do you have any maps?
Uh,
I know.
I'd love to know the location of this temple.
I do not keep maps. If I need
Very
to
well.
be going anywhere, it is on my companion's back.
Easy to see where you're going up there, I imagine.
Yes.
Very well.
I assume he knows the way.
Do you
I show you don't.
do you have any? Oh! He's doing something.
it's clicking his tongue.
Maybe is that a happy sound?
Immediately throws the dagger. No, fuck it. But
How could we need assistance in finding this tribe that wants to kill and enslave us? They if they don't know our settlement's location, they will soon. They killed our scouting party. They have to be close.
as you can see, he sits there, kind of muttering and thinking for a moment. His hands kind of fidget over his staff, and you could see each claw kind of like pit into the staff as he's trying to think more heavily. This might be one of the Snake Lord's pools might be able to assist your vision, so you might see where he is or she is. I do not know which or where they go. Just know that they are very arrogant, easy to anger, but they do have slave armies behind them, and the magic to make you bend a knee.
Well, it's them or us, as far as I can tell, but I'll let the commander make that decision when we get back. After all, he's the one paying us. So these pools you described, that's the meditating pools, or?
Yes. They are not a long travel from here, but still at least 2 days from where I live. Many have gone there, so when you do arrive, be wary. Others may come.
What do you all think? Should we investigate these pools? If we could use them to learn the location of this group of lizard people, it would benefit us greatly.
Is that 2 days travel on your feet or with your wyvern?
My wyvern.
Turn to look at Kashi.
So, like a week? But we're already way out here. This would be our only chance.
Kashi, I overbought food for a reason. It was in case we needed to do something else, but I guess let's hear what everybody else thinks. I guess it's a good idea.
I'm trying to think if I believe in this vision pool nonsense.
Captain, we need to be careful.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if this seems feasible?
For this,
Yeah.
you would definitely know that like vision pools and scrying pools are a definite thing.
Like permanent ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Velnak doesn't, so.
Four.
seems
radar.
interesting enough, and it is not like walking will exhaust me.
That is fair. Let's see. So let's go do some calculations for how many rations we have left. So how long have we been out? Josh?
So far, a week and 2 days.
Only
Or
a
not-
week? I
I'm
thought we were
sorry,
out for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I meant to say 2 weeks.
Okay, so we've been out for 2 weeks. We go out for another week, so that'd be 3 weeks now. That's 6 weeks. I mean, I bought 3 months worth of food left. As long as we don't get sidetracked, we will have more than enough food for the journey.
Good. I feel like this sidetrack will bring us more information to bring back to the settlement. Well, Bajik, think we could stay the night here? It was a long day after all.
Yes, please. It would be an honor to let you rest here after helping me.
Hey, at least the third person's gonna sleep.
You've been a great help. I've not really had any kind of resource that knew anything about this new world other than you.
Not many welcoming, though. It is nice to have company.
Yeah, I was right.
Your dark companion might wish to lay down longer as he kind of looks at the lump on your head still.
Well, dark companion.
Dark companion would love to lay down. Don't let my darkness scare you.
Yeah, he's not gonna rob you. It's easy to... Yeah.
What? I thought all dark people did that.
I mean... oh, no.
I thought all dark people did that. Fuck.
Oh, God.
So, what do you have for food? It's been 3 stinking days with nothing but bread to eat.
We have fresh gator. I prefer snake with salt and a few herbs. And he like goes over to they look like just regular jugs, but then he kind of like pulls back what looks like a tanned animal skin off of it, and you get a very distinct smell of like heavily fermented wine.
Mm.
Damn, he knows how to party.
Do you eat snakes as, like, basically an FU to the snake lords, or you just find the taste really good?
They are very delicious. As he kind of like waves for everyone else to come in, kind of set up a
Guess you-
bedroll.
Take a mental note to try to eat one of the snake lords after she kills him.
Ultimate snake power.
But I will eat some gator and snake and whatever else he has.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a lot of meat. There's like...
I'm sure he has to feed his wyvern.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless he just lets it go out hunting. I don't know.
Pretty much does that. As you could tell, there are like a few large haunches kind of hanging there and being dried. Very, very clear he keeps himself stocked up. There's like, at most, like a few patches here or there of berries for different flavor, but very much carnivore. So, as you all settle in for the night, where would each of you kind of be set up in this house if you rest in the house?
I need a bed. some sort of bed, because I actually sleep.
Yeah.
I imagine the rest of them just need like a chair or something.
Bajik would offer to sleep in bed with you.
Oh,
Wait,
he wants you to keep him warm all night.
Keep it warm!
no funny business now.
No getting handsy. It's like Keshi probably pushes him like to the far back area.
Get the fuck back.
This is my bed. What are you doing?
Oh man.
Your soul is mine.
Flora, do you stay outside?
Yeah, she'll stand on the little bridge, but she's not going to bother coming in for the night.
Right. As Archard actually yawns for the first time ever.
Live. Yawning.
Alright. So let's see here. Okay. So. In the middle of the night, Cash, you could feel Bajik kind of sits up, shuffles over to his table. You can tell he's trying to be quiet, but he just immediately starts working on a few other things.
Is he like freaked out by like the fucking 4 elves that are basically aware of him?
Yep. Because he's working on something in the middle of the night. And it was only about 2 or 3 hours before he decided to get up and start doing this. He does look back and forth a little more cautiously at all of you, like staring at him.
I'm reading my spell book. I'm not troubling him.
Yeah.
It's his life.
As you all kind of meditate and like trance out for a moment, but are very aware of him.
We're like hippies. We're like, hey, far out, man. Elves are so creepy.
These demons, my god. So
This is the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
So you could tell he was trying to be quiet, but now it's pretty obvious that he knows he woke all of you up. Rosita and Puck are probably like the only two people asleep.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, you do see he seems to be doing different admixtures, some that look like kind of healing tonics and other such. Let's see.
Think fast, he says. He throws a vial of acid in one of our faces.
No. As you can tell, he's trying to be, a little more evasive with some of the things he has on hand. For those paying attention to him, you definitely see for a brief moment he does have darts.
Fuck.
He's gonna fuck us!
I mean, to be fair though, if I had access to darts that instantly incapacitated anything they hit, I think I'd carry them with me everywhere.
Yeah. Though, the one thing that stands out the most is when he pulls it out, he tries to be quick to cover the bottom of the kind of not too fancy of a jar, but still at least a jar of that. And as he kind of tries to pour it out carefully into each of the dart, it is very much the amber that you had witnessed before.
is he sharing?
He just straight up has a jar of that shit.
As he keeps going, though, you can see him making batch after batch of fresh darts that don't have the same feather kind of end that of the one that hit Velnak, but very clearly of the same kind of style.
It's been only
About 3 hours.
yeah, so I'm gonna finish my hour before I deal with this man.
What are you going to do to deal with him?
I mean, like
Pouring
anything that
darts.
he's doing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, whatever.
So,
We sleep.
okay. So, as you gotta just ignore it and finish your sleep for the last of the hour, Kesh, you kind of briefly woken up by the clattering of some of the jars and such, but can easily nod off as he's trying to be at least a little more quiet.
Yeah, I just go back to sleep. I always sleep very, very soundly because there's like so many of my companions that don't need to sleep. I know I'm safe.
So, he wraps up a bundle of these and sets it in one of his pouch and kind of picks up his blow dart gun, stashes it in one of his bags, kind of starts to shuffle out the door.
oh, he's leaving?
And he, not paying attention too much, but he sees you, Flora, with your back to the door, kind of looking out.
We should sell this man.
At this point, you can hear very subtle, this, and it's very, very quiet. But at that point, you take notice, Flora, the wyvern immediately kind of sits up and goes over to him, and he just hops on its back from the bridge. At this point, he kind of takes off in the middle of the night.
Oh,
That's kind of concerning.
I mean, he knows that we're all awake. He's probably either going hunting for breakfast to be nice to us, or he's got some fucking busy ass chore to do. His hut probably doesn't even have a door. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
You do take note, though, that you have not seen any other living creature except for him and his wyvern here.
That's crazy.
Can I see if he has it warded?
What? Sorry.
I want to check to see if he has the area warded.
Go ahead and roll me Arcana. You can definitely tell that there's some form of illusion protecting this place. Maybe something that redirects creatures as they're heading to it.
That explains that.
Well, now I guess he's probably really comfortable on the bed.
Yeah. There's no scaly claws poking at her. But it gets to be pretty close to dawn at this point. It's pretty late in the evening. It's close to when Keshi would wake up, and Flora, you see Bashik return. And though he seemed to have had a lot of items in his bag before, it's now very much clearly empty, as it's kind of like depressioned in as he hops off his worm and kind of quickly hobbles back in to see all the elves awake, and then kind of sets down and just falls asleep next to the bedpost, and then just as he sits down, just closes his eyes and starts to snore.
Wow. What a man. He didn't even get in the bed. He's just like, fuck it. She'll just whine. Probably isn't enough space.
Well, I'm sure Keshi probably like relaxed out a bit while he was gone for those 4 other hours.
Mm-hmm.
So after a good amount of time after that, though, dawn finally breaks and the sun creeps through the windows. You just hear the loud snoring of Bajik.
I'm gonna direct everybody to go outside so we can discuss what we're gonna do. Let's not wake him up.
He is very heavily asleep. Captain,
We're coming out.
Dark Drow.
I'll like
Dark Drow.
Chandran comes over, like shakes you, like, Captain, are you alive?
The Dark Drow are teleported.
So are we going to go looking for one of these pools?
That was my thought. If we learn the location of this base of these creatures that very obviously want to kill us all, maybe we could strike back.
Well, the impression we got from him is that they wanted slaves, not to kill all of us.
I thought he said something along the lines of if it was just one, they wanted slaves, but if it was a lot of people, it was a sign of war.
There was only one attacking us, though.
Oh, he meant people, or the snake things, not the casualties?
Yes.
Still, enslaving us is an act of war. I don't think the people there would like that just as much as being killed.
I'm not implying we're to take it lying down or let people be enslaved. I'm just merely trying to get the goals straight for what we're aiming to accomplish with this move.
Yeah, but regardless of their evil intention, whatever their evil intentions are, we need to stop them, is my thought. I believe if we return with this knowledge to the commander, he will see the same, I should say.
I don't really recall, but did he state that the pools had any kind of special ability to be able to locate these lizard men?
It was his suggestion
Okay,
for us to go do that. To find out where they live.
Well, I guess then we should go. Did he give us directions before we went to sleep, or we might have to wait for him to get up?
No directions were given. So.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of curious as to why he went out anyways last night. So I'm fine with waiting around.
What does he owe to explain to us?
I'm just curious. He doesn't have to.
I guess, yes, it is only proper if we wait till he wakes up to give him a proper thank you.
So, after about 2 more hours, you can hear him finally kind of stirring as he looks around. Sees that everyone's obviously stepped out of the hut for the time being, and kind of slowly stands up, stretches for a moment, and you can see him kind of trying to warm himself back up a little bit more as he takes a large piece of dried gator and starts eating it as he walks out. I see you are still here.
Oh yes, silly us. We forgot to ask you for directions.
The pool is to the east, as he kind of points towards the sun, using it as a compass in a way.
East 2 days as the wyvern flies.
Yes.
Get it? As the crow flies. That's Keshi being a bad joke teller.
Ilmar kind of tries to chuckle a little bit. Just so it's not as awkward.
Yes, anyways. Any landmarks?
You'll be like the fallen temples. You will see carved stones on the way to mark the path.
By the way, what were you out and about doing last night? I was kind of curious.
With that, he kind of looks at all of you for a brief moment, a little hesitant, but my other tribesmen still need my abilities. I provide for them what they cannot make themselves.
What do you get out of this?
Nothing to read into there.
My Lord's blessing and a peaceful life.
I suppose you have to do what you have to do.
At this point, you can tell he kind of looks down, and that you kind of think for a moment, but realize that in a way he's probably still a slave himself, even though he's a lizard folk and obviously of higher class.
And actively killing the people he's enslaved to, or
Actively killing other slaves.
yeah.
Yeah, what else do you think he's doing?
But I understand. Kind of makes sense. Being pretty much alone.
Not many others share such ideals to bring back balance to our kingdoms. Others say the gods will never allow it.
These kingdoms, they're almost like forces. Forces have to be balanced. If only there were a chosen one or ones.
Yes.
You speak of the virgins and the forces.
But you must be careful, there is a dark side among them.
Do it.
Wise you are. Now go.
This is our Yoda.
Yeah.
This is Biggie.
Bajik is Yoda now. the worm is his X-wing.
Totally. That's awesome. In the swamp, yes. I've seen this part.
And now he will raise it from the swamp.
I can't really think of anything else.
Yes, thank you, Bajik, for your kindness. And anytime you need us, contact us with the sending ritual.
I'd also like to, I'm gonna write down on a piece of paper Glyphon Ladrin's name and all of our names. Just in case you ever have to run, you can go down to the human settlement. This will ensure they at least don't think you're an enemy.
You'll always have a place there.
He kind of looks at it a little quizzically as he takes it from you. Very clear he doesn't understand your writing.
I assure you, it's something they will recognize. I didn't expect you to be able to read common.
If I ever need leave this place, I will go there first. Be safe. The pools have always attracted the more devious.
Excellent.
Well, I guess we'll be on our way, Bajik. May the force be with you.
And may the force be with you.
Oh, no!
This is getting out of hand.
He takes out a blow dart and immediately shoots Valdeck.
Well, I found that. Didn't even participate in the exchange. He's just like,
Exactly.
fuck you.
He didn't say anything at all. So now he gets darted. No. But no. You start heading your way out, and you can see Bajik kind of head back into his hut and grabbing a few other herbs, and you can hear him shuffling about as he goes about his day. And as you head back out into the jungle, you just get one last sense of the very unique herbs and plants that riddle around the marsh near his house before you finally get out of the area, and all sense of that smell doesn't even fade. It's not like how some where it's in the distance it just immediately stops, almost like it's gone.
I hope Glyphon doesn't get mad at me for that later.
Well,
I mean,
Bajik would always have a place on my property, at the very least, if he wasn't accepted anywhere else.
shows up, he's like, filthy orcs. Obviously they're your orcs, but still it would be fucking great. Oh.
Is he still racist against the lesser beings? I thought he was cooler than that.
He's pretty cool with you because you're a blessed orc in his eyes.
Right.
You got the good racial traits.
I have a little bit of that human blood in me.
You've got those clean genes.
Big jeans.
It's been dry cleaned every day.
I fucking hate you.
I really do wish we could have stayed and talked to him for a couple of days. He knew so much about this land.
Well, now that he knows us, he can contact us with magic.
You're very knowledgeable on magic.
I don't know how to do it myself, but I've known quite a few people and communicated with them using it.
You're sending mixed messages.
Thus the savage orc tribe sending news about demon children throwing food at them, and it's a blessing.
I don't mention that, but I mentioned that when I used to work as a cut purse, sometimes you'd have to lay low, and that was the best way of staying in touch with your comrades. I never had the knack for it, but my guild leader did. Anyways.
So, Veldnak, lead the way.
No. Oh,
Show me to it.
I don't think any of my skills went up, so I think we're still at 10. So let's deal with that.
It's 11 because you're
You
6.
got a half level plus 1 bonus.
So 27. Or, but
No, that was with the 11.
yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
But no, you start finding your way very quickly. Some of the jungle in this area, though, you do see a few animals here and there. The larger dinosaurs. It seems to be that some sections are pretty carved out, and you find the first carved stone very easily. And though the trail seems a little overgrown in some sections, it's very, very easy to follow as you keep moving forward. You do see some remnants as you're traveling between the carved stones having different markings, others that look like different giant writings from other orcs of different tribes. Others are like the blood drinkers, the pyro commanders, and other corny ass things that very simplistic orcs would be writing down. The other one, though, from a lot of these symbols that you see written almost like graffiti from each of these tribes, you do note that there's one that seems to be written out as spell collector. And you see it on almost every single one of these stones as you're going.
Okay.
Would bother to take the time to write like this.
One with a lot of.
So, continuing.
What's my welt doing?
Your wealth has gone down pretty significantly, but it's very raw and sensitive at this point. You probably definitely couldn't put a hat or a hood on.
No, I can't.
As you're kind of feeling it, you feel one line that there's no hair. Almost like the brick kind of shaved off of that section of hair when it hit you.
How am I supposed to wear my favorite?
Some points as you're traveling, Raziel seems a little unease in some of these sections. Every little noise Raziel kind of jumps at, and occasionally, though, you do see Raziel's just a little playful and is like eating lizards and other creatures along the way.
Along the way, just.
Yep. So. Continuing forth, though, you definitely start to see some signs of it looks like battle, but a lot of the bushes seem kind of burnt around with a few littered spears and other items. You do occasionally see a few orc bodies kind of riddling the path as you go along, trying to keep on track with these stones. It doesn't take very long, though, before you reach a clearing and are able to settle down for the night somewhere that seems a little more quiet and doesn't seem to have received as much attention or action from the other tribesmen as you were going. For the few orcs you do take note that some clearly had the stone axes and spears, others just huge rock mauls, as well as a few other more decorative pieces that they had obviously taken from other orcs as proven of trophy kills between multiple tusk teeth or ears or other parts. One had a wreath of hands around his waist.
The things they find is.
Orc hands?
Yep.
Okay.
How festive.
But there's always seemed to be like some kind of trophy, like kill counting amongst each other. Like these are kind of like almost like training roads for some of them if they survive. So, as the first night finishes, you do hear in the distance what sounds like a couple of groups of orcs marching. And occasionally you hear combat resounding through the jungle. Seems to kind of mix all around through the night. None really getting close from the area that you managed to find Velnak. This is more a little bit off the path, so it's not an issue.
Anyone else feel like we're in like fucking Vietnam? Charlie's everywhere.
We're behind enemy lines.
Yeah. Patrols.
Tuggy!
Gotta...
We're in the ground.
Alright, so as you set up for the next day, Velnak showed them the way.
Show them the way.
Show me the way.
I know the way.
Oh, you know the way.
You know the way.
I really know the way lately.
As you're quickly showing him the way, you immediately take note of some of the singe paths and fresh smoke kind of blowing in. You're able to follow around these pathways and avoid going upwind and using it a little more as cover. And you're easily able to skirt around some of the areas that you heard all these battles going on. As you make your way back to the path finally, it's very, very, very clear that there's not too many ahead of you at this point. They seem to have been behind you, clashing for whatever amount of time they had before scampering off to whatever campsites they might have nearby.
Okay.
There's only a few other times you may have seen one or two orcs kind of quickly running away in panic or covered in blood, as well as maybe one or two others kind of chasing down the orc that's kind of running in panic. But other than that, there doesn't seem to be too much attention focused on you for the time, as you manage to keep to the overbrush and the heavy areas. You do manage to find a good heavily wooded area in the jungle to kind of keep cover this time and not really draw attention to yourselves, as it's pretty obvious that maybe sitting in the opening would be more of a danger and a hindrance at this point.
Josh?
Yes.
I definitely want to be scouting ahead a little bit of the group because this is my favorite terrain, and I can't be tracked, and I ignore difficult terrain here.
Ooh, very nice.
And I also have an amazing stealth skill, so...
Oh god, an orc in the jungle with another orc.
It's a steamy romance novel.
You guys finally arrive, and there's 10 dead orcs, and Keshi just in the middle, picking out shit to shoot.
I think I read about this. It was called 50 Shades of Green.
Yes.
Oh god.
Nice one.
So, you definitely do that. As you're going ahead a bit, you do see a few of these scraps and these quarrels between these orcs. A lot of them very obviously savages that are just fighting for attention to maybe get into another tribe or to prove themselves. Others clearly following orders, and they're just trying to wipe each other out because they can for, maybe dominance of food of the area. But other than that, there's not really too many that kind of stick out. Some are very obviously, just stone and stick kind of weapons. At one point, you literally see another orc punching another orc's skull into the fucking dirt because he obviously didn't know when to stop.
Untrained savages.
So uncivilized.
So,
Alright.
So, as the day starts to come to a crescent, you all kind of regroup briefly to set up camp, and you do notice there's a few other orcs with maybe like a stone axe or something a little more finely made. Others with finely with some colored cloth. It seems the closer that you're getting to these pools, the more sophisticated some of these orcs are getting. Which leaves the question if that at the center of these areas that maybe the reason that the orcs out on the outside are so savage is because maybe the ones on the inside received wisdom from these pools, possibly, and have been able to keep control of it. So, at the morning of the third day, it was very quiet all night. Nothing seemed to have been really going on. And Velnak, you start to get ready and guide the path to try and keep on mark with the fallen carved stone obelisks that seem to have been marking the whole pathway. Go ahead and give me a roll.
So can I get a bonus since I'm basically following marked pathways?
Yeah, it's not a high DC.
I never mind. I'm rolling like a monster anyway.
Yeah, and then when combat actually starts, you won't fucking roll.
Well, when combat starts, it's gonna be like
2.
Wow, is that a 2?
Yeah.
How did you get negatives? I don't know.
Your character rolled horribly in the last combat.
Oh yeah, it was fucking unreal.
Like, it was like a 33% chance hit rate you were having, if that.
That's because I was. That's because I was drunk and it knew.
We see it was because the Velnak got brain damage and Argent was trying to remind him how to use a bow. He couldn't figure it out.
No, turn it around. You're gonna shoot yourself that way.
Oh, you got drunk? I didn't know what you were doing that night.
No, my
He got fucking
co-manager got fired recently, and he was very well liked, so they threw him a party and like, they're like, if you don't go, you're a dickhead. I'm like, come on, man.
It's my fucking game night.
I told him, I said, I don't want to be there, and so I ended up having to go, and I came back at 2:30, and I don't know how we were here. I think I talked to Rozzy for a little bit, and then I remember being in the shower. That was it.
Cool.
Good times.
So,
On with the trip.
as you're leading the way, and Kesh, you immediately start moving forward. You do take note that you see one orc with a little more of colorful robes and such. They seem to be setting up for a possible ambush if they kind of catch anyone off guard. So.
Okay, I'll immediately double back and warn the group. Up ahead, there appears to be a group of orcs setting up an ambush. Shall we spring the trap?
Why would we do that?
Sorry, it's just a quote or something. Anyways, we could go around.
Yes, let's do that.
Alright.
So I will try to lead them around.
Alrighty, go ahead and give me a stealth.
Okay.
As you kind of show them a more hidden pathway. Show them the way. Follow the queen.
She is not a fake queen.
Yeah. Alright. So yeah, you easily coast around, and there's only one point as you kind of see like there's one scraggler who's like who fell behind as he goes running by, and you get a good look at him seems to be holding what looks like a very crude leather shield, a very strange, colorful hat and robe with a staff covered in skulls.
He looks ridiculous.
I wonder if that's that spell fellow.
But as he goes by, you have a very clear smell of like burnt wood and ash that seems to permeate from him.
Perhaps maybe a fire magic user or something? One of the burning gods, man.
He just rustles into the bushes. But you could tell he was heading in the direction of where they were setting up the ambush. He very obviously fell behind.
Yeah.
So, at this point, you continue forth. You get a few hours out to the distance before you start to see smoke rise over the treetops of the jungle. You realize that probably whatever ambush was set up that you managed to avoid is gone off on probably another group of poor orcs that have been unfortunate enough to witness it. Yes, you tell
They have dogs. we should be careful to mask our scents.
Alright.
They're moving in. Whoa!
No.
As you quickly move forward, you could tell the less and less tracks. There's not as many fresh bodies. There's clearly a lot of skulls and other items and flesh that's clearly been picked clean by some of the wildlife in the area. It's pretty obvious that not too many battles have gone on here recently, but still a copious amount of it. So, which let's see, 1 point. Where is it? So you end up settling down for the night, and it's pretty quiet. Not really anything seems to have alerted any of you as you kind of keep watch for the time being. Though, close to the early morning, you hear a very loud whoosh of something in the distance getting very close. Some of the trees are kind of being blown around and very heavily winded by whatever this is.
Who's awake? Not me?
Yeah, pretty much. It's getting close, but it's not like full sunrise yet. You can see the light is still just like a very light shade of blue. Let's see where set this up real quick. As you're kind of looking over, it's actually a lot bigger than this, but just for sake, as you look up for the,
Oh,
Holy
Jesus Christ.
shit.
Is that one of those great snakes?
you look up and you see this magnificent looking creature as you kind of question it as it goes by with its eyes are completely lit up, and there's a few decorative feathers on its back and multiple wings going down the segments of its body as it flies over. A lot of the armor looking parts of its body seem to have almost been blackened over. A lot of the color seems to have been faded from years of probably just resting in the jungle or wherever it goes, but seems to be heading in the other direction towards where the Bajik said the great crater was. It seems to just pass over. At this point, though, you do take note that there hasn't been any noises or sound at all this night, and when this creature passed over. Almost like everything fell silent when this creature was in the area.
Write that down.
What did we witness? A god?
It's snake thing.
I thought he was speaking mostly metaphorically. It was probably just gonna be a small lizard person, but no, that was just a big ass honking snake flying through the air.
You could try, well, a mixture of things. Of what you think it might be between religion, dungeoneering, nature.
Nature.
Yep.
I'd go with religion.
I'm gonna nature it so I can be the science. Alright.
The science boy.
The voice of theocracy.
Alright. So, on that,
Unfortunate.
yeah, the most you could discern of this creature is that it's definitely a giant snake-like creature. Definitely not a snake, from what you could discern. But it seems confusing because it seemed so heavily armored if it was armor, and you can't really confirm that.
Yeah.
Argent, so you did religion, right?
Yeah.
You would know in a lot of primitive tribes there was a belief of great winged snakes known as kodals that were signs of power and wisdom. And this is the extreme case. None have ever been rumored to be of this size.
That is very evident.
For that, that's what you could probably discern, that this is probably one of the, at most, guessing, is a primordial kodal that had obviously ascended to maybe some form of godhood or demigodhood of this area.
There's a lot of old gods around here, and we're just trying to settle.
We're just trying to settle here. If you guys could calm the fuck down for a minute.
Excuse me, could you calm down and move to the other end of the island?
Yeah. Where we're not right on top of you. After that, morning kind of crests over, and there's still a very eerie silence. The most you could tell is that everything is kind of remaining hidden for the time being.
No.
So is anybody having second thoughts about getting closer to where we're going? If it gets any worse than a giant snake flying through the air, I don't think we should go any further.
Well, Josh mentioned it was flying towards the crater, not towards the pools.
Correct.
No, but it's the very fact that we're headed in any direction that includes a giant flying snake. I don't care where its destination is.
This is an agreed thought. We are prepared for giant flying snakes.
Oh, yes, right, Keshi, you were asleep. The snake was, about as big as the frontier town. It was flying.
Oh my gosh. I've never even dreamed of such a creature.
Reminded me of the Coatls talk about in legend. This one was a lot bigger. A lot bigger.
This land. I'm beginning to wonder why anyone would want to settle here.
Well, it's got a thriving society of something.
Josh, how close are we to the pools?
We've been traveling for 3 days, so probably at least.
Yeah, pretty much only another 4 days at most.
I guess that isn't awful. Tomorrow night, 2 flying snakes.
2 giant flying god snakes of old. Hey, count them. 1, fuck.
And a giant flying purple worm.
For flavor.
Excuse me, you look totally uneaten. Allow me to change that.
So,
Okay.
you guys head out.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So, you start moving out. You actually make very quick time. There seems to have been complete silence throughout the day. You think...
Yeah, I imagine that thing probably cleared out the jungle for miles.
So, you have absolutely no issues as you move forward, and it's actually very clear for the next 3 days. On the 4th day, finally, as you travel, seems to have been... almost every orc seems to have been scared off or has gone into hiding after what you've witnessed fly overhead. You finally hear some noise again of orcs fighting once more. And it's on the 3rd day when you finally settle down for your camp, and you do get the brief smell of burning wood and tinder, maybe part of the jungle being a little bit on fire, but nothing to truly worry about. Which, finally, on the 4th day, you actually reached the location that you were seeking very easily, as the rest of the orcs seem to have continued fighting. This area, as you kind of come in, seems almost serene in a way. It's very bizarre. Seems very old and had been here for a very long time with the overgrowth, but from the amount of travelers and other people who've come here, it's very clear it's been cleaned out and respected time again, and there are absolutely no bones or weapons here whatsoever. And you do see a few other pieces here and there that seem to be respected, and almost of prayer-like kind of incense seems to have been burnt, along with a few offerings of different herbs and other meats that seem to kind of sit around the edges of the pool.
Well, let's get down to business. I don't want to be near anything that's could be drawing something as bad as a giant flying snake.
Which one of us, if not all of us, is going to try to activate this pool?
Well, I have a lot of talent with arcane magic. And Flora has expertise in completing
I look into this pool.
delayed arcane rituals.
Alright, so you just look into the pool with no focus in mind.
I've got nothing right now.
Alright, so roll me a wisdom check.
Well, I like to hear.
I really do hope this pool doesn't have a browsing history, 'cause I need to use this pool for some personal time.
Is wisdom mod plus half level.
Clear search history.
Alright. So you feel almost like a surge go through your soul, as if it's like you're peering into your own past for a brief moment, since you kind of just looked into this pool empty-headed. Though it's your history upon the Eviscera, and all the way up to when the captain first got you and beat you with spiked caltrop whips.
Oof.
It's brief moments of calm and respite where you finally realize, like, even though it's a dark history and you see blood in most of your past visions of your own life, almost like you're looking upon a full history of yourself, it's at least the nicest moments between maybe fine wines. When you first met Jandrin and Ilmar and kind of started working together, even though You seem to have hated each other very obviously from the start, but finally came to coercion on a plan after seeing the other mate strung up on the mast after having his balls cut off, as well as the few other moments.
The nut clutch day. Everybody clutched their nuts.
So at this point, though, it's very serene and relaxed as it kind of replays the refreshing moment of when you saw the captain stuck on the docks and you were looking through the spyglass halfway out to sea, leaving her behind, managing to escape.
Woo!
Could anyone else see that?
Nope. It was purely he faded, like he froze as he was looking down into this pool.
Oh, okay.
I feel like exhausted after that, or like...
For that, yes. You feel extraordinarily exhausted, almost like you were going through that entire journey all over again in one day.
Nice. As I shake my face back into the world, it's just very tiring.
So it worked?
Yes, but I had nothing in mind when I looked in.
Are you alright, Captain? You froze.
I put hands on both their shoulders and I walk over here to go sit down.
Seeing so much shitty amounts of life before finally gaining your freedom.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, there's a nice little bench you could sit on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Just
nice stonework to sit on.
Well, so we need to find the followers that are near us.
He mentioned the snake. What are they called, Josh? Snake one? Great snake ones?
The great snake lords.
Yeah, the snake lords. Maybe start by picturing the settlements and then think about this maybe where we saw the scouts being killed. I don't know if it works that way, but you
I
can
guess
try
that is fair enough. I'd like to try to picture that camp
Alright.
that we visited that had all the dead people, but try to imagine it with people in it that aren't us, like people that were, brutally murdered.
Alright, so you focus on that for a good while, and then finally look into the pool.
Yes.
Alright, go ahead and make a wisdom check.
I'm gonna fall into the pool and die.
Alright, so you envision this as you're kind of locked in for this, as you almost try to jerk back for a moment and realize your body won't react, as you're briefly flashed with visions and you almost feel the pain that these men were going through as these darts hit them.
ooh.
When one of them turned to see that none of the orcs were there at all or responsible for this, but it was the lizard folk that you killed that did this. Before you start seeing the chronic mutations, some being turned into snakes, others into birds. One of them was actually turned fully into a spider. The other
one that was a snail man.
The one hit as you kind of look down and in quick reaction you pull out. You see yourself pull the dart out, and you see your body start shriveling and withering away as you slowly turn into the slug/worm that man was that you blew up. And in the very last moments, you actually see yourself as you screaming shoot a magic missile and you explode.
Oh God.
Damn.
At that point, you finally wake back up, but you're like thrown back as your body is like screaming to move this entire time. You just hit the ground with a hard thud.
I really do not like that. As Argent scrambles backwards.
Oh, and did you have any luck? I'm gonna guess no.
Well, aside from the immense pain of feeling what those darts feel like, I learned that it was only the single lizard man that we killed that attacked the camp.
Ah.
How exhausted
Maybe.
is this man? Does he look exhausted?
Yeah, he's literally sweating. It looks like he just ran a fucking marathon.
Nice. I don't suggest everyone looks in.
Argent, you literally feel all of your joints like hurting from the amount of exhaustion that's hit you from this. Yeah, 3 insanity.
I am not particularly smart, and this pool is very interesting.
Alright, so what do you think of before looking into this pool?
Well, I mean, for the most part, mine has been on, yeah, sure, Bazik told us a bit about the poison, but I still want to know a lot more about it. But, no, I actually wanted to, reach my hand down into the pool.
Oh no.
So,
It's gonna give you like some kind of ad infinitum here. It's gonna be like you looking at yourself reaching into the pool for eternity.
so you slowly dip your hand in. Go ahead and roll me the wisdom check.
Yeah, my wisdom is less. Well, it's the same as Argent's, so I can't do that much worse, really.
You didn't do worse. Congratulations.
Exactly.
So you were thinking about where this poison comes from?
Yeah.
Alright. So you kind of just slowly reach down with this thought, and then as you kind of dip your hand in, as you are looking forward into the pool, you feel a very deep rush kind of pull you straight down. It almost feels like you've left your autonomous body for a moment as you kind of freeze in what seems like the bottom of the pool, almost like you shrank before you finally see what looks like blackened mountains raised up around you. And you look around briefly, and immediately there's a light that catches your eye, and it comes into full form, and you realize to what it is. And I'll let everyone else see this because I'm sure you would describe it.
I mean, would I?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, in between where you're standing, you see what looks like old huts and houses and burnt and charred lands, and then the magnificent palace that you see before you, all surrounding in this blackened crater. Humongous bones of every varying kind of creature that you could see in race and animalistic form, some of giant dragons and others of ancient creatures and beings that clearly lived here before
Shit.
immediate extinction. And the only thing
I was just gonna say, because the shards are part of that fire guy, right? In some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
He lives there, I assume, maybe?
So, as you're looking at this, you feel something quickly pull you towards this place, and it's blinding bright yellow light before you finally see what looks like an old corpse kind of stuck upon a throne with its arms out, and it looked almost like it was purposely slashed, almost like it's in a state of decay and regeneration at the same time as this amber continues to flow out of its arms into what looks like veins and rivers that go under You're not sure where they go, but this entire room seems to be a flowing amber. Fountains of it pouring out all around the throne. Some decorating, others glowing, glittering, almost like gold. Before, as you kind of instinctually like reach down to touch what looks like some of these darts for next to what you assume to be skeletons, and you grab one and you look around and you see that the poison inside is all around coming from the questionable corpse of this creature that sits on this throne. And one last brief moment as you look into the amber that decorates this area, you can see large amber crystalline forms, and it looks like extremely powerful lizard creatures living within it, almost like they've been placed in the state of sleep within this amber as the corpse sleeps on the throne. And then you immediately rush back to the fountain. And at this point, you actually do take a hit of exhaustion as you kind of pull back your hand from this pool. And in your hand is actually the amber dart that you picked up in this place.
Holy shit.
I mean, like, still holding the dart, but kind of focusing on both it and her hand with this, obviously strange feeling that she has. Just gonna closely inspect it and then put it away with everything else.
So, as you pull it out, it seems to shimmer far more brightly than the other darts that you've retrieved. All of you can definitely see when Flora pulls her hand out and sees the dart within her hand.
Did you pull something out with you?
It would appear so. Though I do not like the feeling it brought with it.
That brings up an interesting question if you're actually there. What did you see?
It was a giant tower in a field of bones. Inside there was a throne with a decaying corpse. The amber, I think, this poison, flowed from it. I think it's where they've been collecting it from. But even then, it was surrounded by large lizard men. And I do not think it is a place we should go.
Well, I'm gonna take a gander.
Ugh. Only Chandra and Ilmar aren't currently exhausted by looking in the fucking pool.
Well, hopefully, one of us has got to figure this out so we can get GTFO.
But as you're going up there, Argent will, say that try focusing on where the lizard man was before.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to do. So, Josh, I will picture that one lizard where we were tracking him for a while, and I think we killed him, right? Didn't we kill him up there?
Yeah, he's definitely dead. We delivered him to the
He was thoroughly dissected.
Right.
Mr.
So
Lilthan.
I'll focus on really hard as much as Keshi can on where he was going, that lizard, the direction he was moving in, and trying to find where his home was, what I'm looking for,
Mm-hmm. Thinking of what possibly lord he had served.
Yeah. So you want me to roll?
Mm-hmm. Give me a wisdom check as you focus on the stop.
Come on, roll good.
Yes!
Crushed it.
So, Keshi, as you get all these hints, you kind of get the feeling you know how to work this thing. As you focus heavily on this creature, where it's going, what it did, and where it's from, who it served. You're just intensely set on this creature. As you kind of look into the pool, it almost feels like you're looking through its eyes, and you can almost feels like you're in two places at once, as you could see the creature itself and through the creature's eyes at the very same time.
Oh, wow.
You feel the almost as if it was prideful in doing so. Between you see various orcs being torn down, and at the same time, though it may disgust you, you actually feel its emotions of overly joyed as seeing these mutations and punishments and executions as it does on other slaves that have clearly escaped or run away. You can see time again as it returns, proving itself worthy and receiving more and more gifts and getting different alchemy supplies. It was very low in the ranks and fought all the way up, and has been fairly highly respected by many other tribesmen, and even some of the higher ranking lizard folk that clearly was a far better combatant at least gave him the respect of cleaning up the filthy slaves that were a problem. So he at least had the respect of even higher peers, which was hard enough for him to do. Before finally, when he was heading out on the last mission of where you are, you see clearly this speaking to him, and you just feel a welling of pride as he speaks to this creature.
Wow.
And you get the feeling that this is clearly probably one of the snake lords, and that there's no other higher, and that this was probably the creature's highest point of honor of receiving a mission directly from this person. As she seems to have had waved clearly for some of the other servants to quickly push out a few other pieces, as well as the new blow dart gun that he received, the one that you had retrieved from his body to be magically enchanted, and the large packet of darts, almost kind of the same but with a different feather fletching on the end compared to what Bajik had made. And he was immediately set out, and you see different rushes as the darts slowly get smaller and smaller over time, and the mutations for these ones are far more horrific and punishing. Creatures being shrunken down to different sizes, others exploding in massive pain or collapsing, others immediately withering away before this creature, before finally reaching the human camp, and you witness from the lizard folks' point of view of the humans running and scattering, the others quickly being torrented with pain, and then you realize that the ones that did turn into snakes and other creatures he actually ate.
Wow.
Before finally seeking out this orc camp that was eluding him for a while, and you could see that he was actually following you all the way to the orc camp before finally finally seeing him climb up over the wall and seeing you briefly while talking to these orcs and firing all these darts quickly in rapid succession and killing
sneaky little bastard.
killing many of these orcs in rapid succession and quickly darting off. And one of the last visions you have before it starts to fade, as you see the dart launch out, and you see what looks like to be the silver hair of Velnek before the dart just barely hit him in the face. And he quickly runs off, and the last feeling just before, after the arrow impales him, and you feel this push through your chest quickly as well. But not the intense pain that it felt, almost like a bliss, as if it was going to heaven. It quickly takes out the bravery powder that you saw that it had used and had a spare of, quickly snorts it all, And the last remnants was seeing Argent just before the magic missiles just embedded into his chest, and he went into black sleep.
Damn.
But you come out with the memory in clear distinction of this snake woman, this lord.
What about the destination? Like,
for this, you do actually regain the memory that of the village itself. It's actually to the south, closer to the savannah.
oh, okay, so it's even further south.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very clear from the area that he came from. Though it took a while, he did loop around, following the orcs' trails.
So Keshi will kind of snap out of the pool and probably take a few deep breaths and just turn to the others and say, I got it.
And you're actually not exhausted at all from using this pool.
Probably just a little in shock at the experience, though. That's a first for Keshi. She stayed away from the trippy magic things. Yes. Thank you, Argent. Looking, it was just as you predicted, following that creature, getting a good vision of him and his master. I've seen it. And it actually lies to the south of us. To the south of our encampments. Their village.
Well then, if nobody else wants to ask the circle any debilitating and exhausting questions, we should probably get away from it before something else shows up. We were lucky.
Oh, look at the time.
Oh, good evening there.
At this point, though, as you are all taking the time to focus and Kesh has come back from her vision, you see what looks like an orc. It's not seemingly entirely an orc. As you kind of look at her, though her armor is very finely crafted, her own maul seems to have a different kind of magical essence about it, as well as the very strangely ordained headpiece that seems to connect around the base of her plated collar. She seems to look at all of you as the heavy footfalls of her plated boots kind of connect with the stonework around. And she glances around very carefully, studying all of you. You can tell she gives a very long squint at Argent and Velnek, almost quizzically. And then finally starts to move towards the pool.
I assume I will think mentally this is probably some kind of unspoken pool rule that, you don't fuck with people that want to look at the pool.
Yeah, there's like an unspoken truce maybe here.
They need to shift down. They're being dicks.
Oh, yeah. So, Velnek, you probably give them a quick hand wave and they're just like, oh, and step out of the way. As she kind of she doesn't say anything at all, but as she passes by, you could see she's definitely maybe half orc, but parts of her body seems to have almost scales.
They fucked a lizard.
Oh, she's a half lizard breed.
As she passes by, I'm gonna give her a nod and kind of slightly point my mace towards her mace and be like, that's a nice mace, kind of nod,
Though she kind of reels back a little from the acknowledgement, she gives you a nod. It's very, very clear that she's going to avoid a fight if possible here. It is very obvious from your assumption that there is some form of unspoken rule not to defile these grounds.
Yeah, it feels like they left offerings and stuff. It feels like this is something they actually value.
Mm-hmm.
To not fuck with.
Oh, yeah. but you get almost a strange feeling from her. There's definitely something very magical about her. A very intense aura. That almost like a lot of arcane energies kind of bend to her will as she's here. At this point, you can see her approach, and she takes something out of her pouch and kind of sets down two other incenses and sets them ablaze just by as she points. She doesn't take out flint or anything. She points down, and you see what looks like a brief burst of fire. And on the back of her plate, you could see the same symbol that's been painted all over the pathways of the spell collector.
I just kind of whisper to the group, maybe we should give her some privacy.
Yeah, let's go. I don't want to be around this place any longer anyway.
So you just hear the silence as she starts to focus, and there's a small chant that she begins to do. Though, as you're leaving, Argent, this probably would catch your eye more, as you do see some of the stones and glyphs light up in the area.
There's more to that circle than meets the eye.
I wonder if she was the one to seal in that demigod.
She'd have to be pretty old for that, can't she?
Oh yeah, right. Maybe it's the same art that's been passed down or something. It looks similar.
Yes, perhaps.
I think we could go home.
I think we've definitely learned enough for this trip. Let's go home.
We're going home!
Oh no.
Alright. So, as you're heading out from this place, you could almost feels like a very intense arcane disturbance, like magic would be disrupted there in a way, as she's kind of doing this ritual, though unknown. As you're heading out of this location, it's immediately disrupted by you hear a call as like, "Get him! There she is!" And they're all kind of looking at you, Kesh.
Oh wait, they're looking at me.
Yeah, she fits the description. Kill her, and then roll initiative.
Oh fuck! I was totally thinking oh, you mean her back there, right?
Like, no. I think you mean the girl to the the other way.
I'm gonna go piss. I'll be right back.
It's in me.
Okay, Brad, bend over.
Holy shit!
Oh God.
Did my initiative go up?
By one.
Yeah.
By one.
Plus
What is my
one,
initiative?
nibba.
I'm just gonna put. Wow. So we're just gonna put 9. Okay. Oh no! It starts early.
This section, these guys. The red team.
We hear a faint roar in the distance.
She summoned the Spider Lord.
No!
Lilthan.
It's even worse.
Yeah, I think I actually forgot to adjust mine as well. Let me check. Yeah, I did.
I'm back.
3.
Just these guys.
This is what happens when you're polite to half-orcs.
Is she just a half-orc? Or what else is she?
I mean, she's obviously a half-snake god.
An abomination.
Her mom got some of that snake god dick. That good pipe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That double pipe.
Maybe even triple pipe, you don't know.
You do know snakes have two, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you know, it's snake god. They might one up it.
It's true. That triple half pipe and, you know, multi-crack drifting. Oh, God.
Anakin?
Bananakin!
I don't even... were you supposed to move maps for us? Because we're still sitting next to the orc.
Oops. I was supposed to.
I'm just like sitting here, I'm like, huh, you know, there's nothing going on over
where
here.
Where are these guys? Hold on. Oh, 5-minute bathroom break.
Oh, now our initiatives are gone.
Are they?
Yeah, mine is completely gone. I'll just click on myself and re-roll it to put it on.
Yeah, might as well.
Wow, I did better. Typical. I was already at the top of the initiative order. It doesn't matter. Of course they're standing in such a way so that I can't sleep more than like 2 of them. Sleep. Area 2 burst. So area 1 burst is... Is this an area 1 burst? It's 5 feet by 5 feet by 5 feet.
Area 1 burst is this.
Okay, so...
Except it's... You usually do it like within range, like...
Within 10 squares.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
So then I have an area 2 burst, so is it
Yeah, because
this?
essentially you're picking the square that it's bursting from, and then it's that range from that square.
Oh, okay, so it's like 1 square 10 feet out in all directions.
Yeah.
Alright, I can get behind that.
We're gonna fucking hear this shit later.
What? The fuck are you talking about?
This shit right here, man. If he
In
yeah,
case you're
just,
wondering what I'm doing, I'm measuring out
I'm like,
the AoE for a certain ability.
like if I heard that fucking roar play, Josh, I'd probably, as I said, I would kill myself.
Beaglegeist has shown up.
No, that was not Beaglegeist. That was definitely not Beaglegeist. His is more like a fucking air raid siren. I'd see if I fucking was sitting there.
No, don't do it. Please don't show up and bomb me while I'm trying to farm.
Please, I'm just trying to live my life.
I just wanted to fight this Otogaron within 15 minutes. Please, leave me alone.
So is area 2 burst is... Yeah, okay, yeah, I like that.
Burst. Yeah.
It's like
Here
that.
it comes.
It's essentially a +5.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody.
Okay.
Strap in. Those
Shut
orcs
up, clock in,
those
and load
orcs-
up.
came packing.
Oh, God.
Is that a basil geese? No,
No.
no. Put away Negro Gante.
Straight for the other blacks.
Dude, we'd be all dead. I was gonna delete it too.
Alright.
I have to say, that was a good 3D
Interesting
render.
vocals to this track.
There's some good orcish chant. Alright, well... we don't have time for this. And I'm just gonna cast sleep,
Oh, no.
hitting these 3 guys.
Alright.
So sleep, that's the mission MO. Versus all 3 of their wills.
Jesus Christ, man. That actually just makes it for all. Fuck me. So, yep. So they're all slowed until
the end of their next turn where they save with a -5.
Alright.
Alright, well, yeah, that's my turn. I've allowed them to hit their snooze button.
My magic's stronger! And he just quickly starts rushing forward.
He slows, I mean.
Yeah, that's right. So you get about there. Let's see. Yeah, that's in range. So
They are after me, after all.
it is true. So this one, even though he got hit by this slow spell, he will go for his main target. So he's gonna try and go for you, Kesh. This is going to be versus your reflex.
Okay.
As he seems to build up this huge black and green ball, launches out forth towards you. 26?
Oh yeah, that hits.
Alright. So, you're hit by this, and it's the most sickly feeling ever. You feel it just drop into your stomach, and your body starts to peel away. Some of your flesh kind of starts rotting off with it. So, it's...
Shit. Should have. Damn it.
Oh.
Should have used an interrupt, but it's fine.
And that's 25 necrotic damage, and you take a -5 to all defenses until the end of his next turn.
And what was the penalty?
-5
-5 what?
to all defenses
Oh, okay.
until the end of his next turn.
Okay.
Alright, and then -5 for his save. So he casts this and then probably passes out. He's a one. Yep, he's a one and doneer. So immediately as he finishes this cast and connects you to Kish, you just immediately see him straight down, face down in the dirt. Flora, you just saw Kesh get hit by this massive, sickly, necrotic ball of energy.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna start by using Healing Word on her. We're level 6, so it's better now.
Nice.
10 plus surge, nice. That's a lot of text there.
Yes, it does a lot of things now.
Alright.
But, I've counteracted some of your penalties. And even improved your fortitude by 1 point. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There's 4, 5. There's like no point to me even like attempting to go towards them. I'm not gonna get nearly close enough to do anything.
Ooh, I just realized that I can hypnotism them and have them stab their captain who's down for critical hits.
In front of Cash. And then that's it.
Oh, damn. That's a hell of a way to wake up with your subordinate with his sword in your side.
Alright, Kesh.
What kind of weapons are these guys armed with?
They're all wielding like They look like staffs, but they're all kind of sharpened off with like old animal horns and bones.
Do they speak in common over there, or was that Orcish?
Orcish.
Okay.
A giant in a way.
I was gonna say, like, they're very well learned for savage orcs.
I'm going to just... I mean, that's a nasty debuff. Is it save ends?
No, it's still at the end of his next turn.
Okay. Well, I'm going to break their line of sight. I'm going to move back here. I assume this is like a cliff here?
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to break their line of sight and roll stealth to hide.
Alright.
So I just have to beat their passive...
Passive vision, so
passive perception or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is D&D.
Oh yeah, Jesus. you vanish into the underbrush behind the cliff. So they're all panicking. Like, she vanished quickly. What the?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I guess they want her dead, not really so much us.
So Elmar is just gonna try it. And then try and take a shot with his hand crossbow once he has a clear vision. And he definitely lands a well-placed shot. Fucking goes right into the neck of this frontline orc beside him. And he goes down like a heap of fucking rocks. Jondrin, he's gonna try and just loop around to get a clear sight from the higher grounds. He's gonna fire a twin strike at these two. Alrighty, so he actually manages to land one hit. And unfortunately, the other one glides on by and misses the orc entirely as it kind of gets caught up in some of the brush. So these orcs, they're all gonna start rushing forward. Quick! Kill them! Find them!
Your turn next to your captain, come on. I really want to do this. Good man.
Good man.
And at this point, they're all running up as you see the tips of their staffs kind of brighten up. And then they all, in tandem, see like Ilmar up at the front and just start hurling fire bolts at him.
Holy shit.
That's gonna be 3, 1, 2, 3.
2 hit.
So, as he took down one of the orcs, the other 3 kind of quickly rush into place. You see the fireballs quickly soar over. One goes wide and just kind of sets the brush on fire beside him, and the other 2 land directly on him and kind of burn part of it, his chest and his arm, as he tries to take cover behind his cloak a little bit and takes a nasty 10 damage. So, these guys... This guy is actually going to charge Jondrin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Along with him. He could only get 3, so he'll move 3 up. And then once these guys get up close, you see them, like, as they're swinging their staffs around, immediately kind of building up whatever arcane energies in the air. They both charge forth to try and bring it straight down on him. And let's see. Both will unfortunately connect. as they do, you can see this explosion of fire as both the horns and the fire burns into Jandra. He's trying to guard himself, and he takes a hard 20 damage. As you can see the build-up of the charge, and then the other one's just going to try and... he's going to just hurl another fireball at Jandra, and seeing how he's the only one close enough. And he goes completely wide as he tries to make his save. And completely fails, and as he throws the fireball, it falls completely short, just sets part of the brush on fire over here. And he just falls down flat asleep on the ground. Vilnak. You boys, they're hurt.
I know, I'm gonna have to deal with this side first. Okay, everybody. What do we plow our men with first? Can't bring it to the right screen. I want to hit 2 people. That's 1 creature. We're just gonna twin strike. I'm gonna twin strike this one here.
Alright.
And then this one. Oh, before I do that, I'm gonna quarry that one. The first one, the closest one.
He's marked.
Thank you.
Raziel takes a position guarding Kesh.
The reason I left her there, yeah.
Alright, so both fly true, and you see these javelins kind of sink straight into their chest. The orcs kind of pause for a moment. The other one flumps down immediately as he looks down at the huge javelin in his chest before falling back into the underbrush.
Nice. We're clearing out as many as we can, so I'm gonna action point and do it again.
Alright. More of the pyromancers, seeing how the leader is seemingly asleep on the ground.
What have you done, Velnak? I was gonna make that guy stab the sleeping captain.
He's dead now.
He's dead now.
That isn't anywhere near as cool. I will use an encounter power to do this.
Alright, so both managed to land. The one right in front, it almost looks like the brush might have knocked it off before he, as the arrow sinks in, and you realize that it didn't connect with wood, but it was actually his neck as he steps out and quickly falls down, bleeding everywhere. The other one connects heavily into an artery and severs it as he spurts out and kind of grabs his arm for a moment before succumbing to the shock.
Nice. And then Raziel, he's actually gonna sprint and noodle a guy. What's this noodle attack?
You have.
I'm just gonna roll this.
Tentacle. There you go. As Raziel quickly runs up the hill and comes out of the brush, protecting Jandra, and latches onto the face of this orc. You just hear before you hear the loud crunch of his neck snap under Raziel's teeth, and the noodles keep noodling.
And now he's partially concealed.
So this guy, not seeing too many options, he's just gonna quickly try and get up there. 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, he's not asleep yet?
Not yet.
It's at the end of his turn. They have a chance to fall asleep.
And at this point, you see him wind up and then hurl a fireball at Ilmar. This man is taking.
I'm gonna disrupt it.
Oh, go ahead.
Sweet.
Disrupt the strike. Immediate kill. Alright, so literally, as he's winding up, another javelin just launches out, and it just completely dispels as he drops the staff holding his neck and just drops down.
Wow. Literally everything I was going to do is now useless. Can I see this guy?
Him, it would be just a -2 because he's laying down on uphill.
Magic missile.
As you see his body like jerk for a moment, and then now it just lays there completely lifeless.
Wait, did magic missile gain another point of hull damage?
Ooh.
Is it now 9 hull damage? That's my turn.
Alright. So he's asleep, and the -5 is no longer applied to you, Kesh.
Okay.
And I guess he could just try and wake up.
He doesn't take any more penalties after the first round.
He's gonna wake up and everyone's gonna be dead. Yep.
Just all of them
Dang.
with lances.
No
Just gonna
sick coup de grace action.
Yeah. So he just kind of like starts sitting up, and he's like, "Oh, let's get him! What?
That one's been lanced. That one's been lanced. That one's been lanced.
All right, so he's good. And then Flora.
Uh,
You can see the man has woken up and is now looking up around, very confused.
can I use Favor of the Gods on myself?
Does it say target or person?
Target is one creature in the burst.
Yeah, you can target yourself.
I frequently used it on myself, and
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The-
Alright, cool. 'Cause then I do that.
yeah, because you're part of the burst that says target, not a creature.
Hammer of the Gods. Nah.
That will miss.
It's a good thing I have the ability to go. Damn it! It's exactly the same roll.
What the fuck? Is that with CA?
Oh my god, yep. Or is it with CA, Ross?
No, I didn't put the 2 on. I
Still
forgot.
misses.
By the way, the flavor text also implies it's used on yourself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just as an extra, to be sure. It is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he holds up his staff and glances it to the side. Oh, strange. Golem lady needs stronger swing than that. Kesh.
I feel bad for him. Everybody he knows is not dead.
So, I guess. So, I have to keep at least partial cover to be hidden technically when I attack this guy. Can I move in a way like through here to keep at least partial cover and
yeah.
pop out and attack him?
Yeah, because that's like right at the apex of the hill, so it's easy to tuck in there.
Cool. Well, I'll kind of tuck in and then start like kind of sprinting and pop out of the bushes for a literal sneak attack.
I found.
So this is with a +2.
Oh god,
Good.
he doesn't even see it coming. As he just literally come around and smash his spine in completely as he like bends in half.
And that's all I will do.
Alright.
Oh, my headset is dying.
Omar is just gonna quickly start dashing to the side to get a better shot, and he's learned his lesson not to get too close anymore. As he actually tries to shoot through the bushes, unfortunately misses and glances off the rocks behind. Jondrin just looks to you, Kesh, and is like, "Thank you," and kind of knocks it out and starts trying to move closer. And he just gets to the top of the hill and just kind of looks down, gets ready to knock the arrow. Melnek.
Keshi was just like pulling her mace out of the dude's spine, and she just gives him a nod as he passes by.
Well, I'm gonna mark him.
Alright.
No, I think that's it, right? Yeah.
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 He's the only
He's
one
getting
left.
marked. He's getting a sure as shit shot. No.
Oof.
Unfortunately not.
The attack roll can be re-rolled. Right?
Especially. Yep.
I'm not gonna change anything.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's worse!
Look at all that damage
What?
just thrown down the drain.
God damn it! Okay. Is this a half damage? I don't think so.
Oh, God.
I don't think these are half damage.
Alrighty. So, Argent.
There are tales told in stories of a man that can do 8 whole damage on an attack. It's me.
Oh, shit.
That's my turn.
Don't dodge. Not hurt so bad. So, Marok is going to move action, stand up. And as he's standing up, you see this sickly black magic forming around his hand. He's gonna quickly thrust it towards you, Flora, trying to grab at your chest.
Oh. Baka.
Her porcelain tits.
Trying to grab her chest? This
So-
man's a charlatan.
This is first your fortitude. Oh God, no.
Doesn't even hit my fortitude.
Oh God, and with that he'll just he's sitting there like it doesn't work, and then let's see, he is just gonna try and action point rotting touch one more time. Why is this?
Touch your tits!
Why is this spell not working? Oh.
Oh!
Not working. Not working.
So, any reactions, Flora?
Alright.
I'm
Cool.
gonna be honest, I've been
I'm
forced
gonna
out
try
of
and
the house
touch my
temporarily,
screen tomorrow. I'm gonna
so
go.
I don't know what that did.
Okay, so that's going to it's going to oh my God, so this is 12, 15, and then he'll tack on his furious assault with that and make it 25 necrotic damage, and it removes all necrotic resistances and immunities, and you take ongoing 5 necrotic
Serious assault wouldn't get maxed.
Alright, so I'll roll it.
It's something you tack on after the roll.
Alright, so then that would just leave 19 necrotic damage, and you lose all necrotic resistances or immunities, and take ongoing 5 necrotic damage, save ends both.
Wow.
Alright. Well, I didn't have necrotic resistances in the first place. Whatever.
Alrighty. So, your turn, Flora.
Cool. I have Warforged Resolve that lets me make a free saving throw, as well as getting some temp HP equal to... I'm not sure how much.
And also, don't forget to take your 5.
I think
Right.
it's 1/2 your level. It's like a pretty minor amount. It's like 5
Yeah,
plus
it's-
half your level.
Yeah, it's not much, but it's a decent amount. That'll absorb one of my 5s. You know, if I have to take another one, considering that I get to make a free saving throw and then another at the end of my turn.
You want us to roll the saving throw for you?
Yes, please. I am not in the house. I don't have access to Roll20 right now.
Alright,
I'll do it.
so I'm doing up your health, and then you're at 20 HP currently.
Let's see, Godhammer failed.
Ah,
Is an injured person going after me?
No.
Oh, there we go. I made sure
Or, well,
floor doesn't say.
bloodied or injured, or just like hurt.
Just injured.
Just yeah, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Okay. Use weapon of recovery. So ensure the next person who hits gets Okay. What's up with that card? Close to.
So recovery strike.
Yeah, that one.
15 versus AC will not hit.
Ah, damn it.
Fuck is that noise?
He's eating schnitzel.
Oh, and consider it.
Code.
Not even getting me any.
Alright, so. Kesh, your turn.
Rubbish.
What should I do? I don't think I can get to him.
You could do like a plunging attack.
Yeah, I could just charge him, I guess.
It's like some dwarves I know.
It's
So can I like move up and like jump down here and attack him?
yeah. That would be easy enough. He wouldn't be able to attack you. It's kind of like caught off guard as he like launch out of the bushes at him.
Okay. And can I count this as like a impromptu charge?
Yes.
Does that hit?
That definitely hits.
Okay. So melee basic damage plus furious assault
Whew.
plus sneak attack.
Oh my god. So.
And then I can action point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna brutal trick him
Oh,
so
God.
he gets free attack. This might be risky.
Oh god, it is because oh fuck. As you come down and strike him like right in the shoulder and bust up part of his arm, he immediately turns around as you're trying to like goad him into attacking. You see him quickly bringing up his hand filled with the putrescent magic. And it seems to be constantly flowing through his hands as he's concentrating in this battle.
Is that his melee basic? Oh fuck.
As versus your fortitude.
Fuck, yes, that hits.
Alrighty. So you take 12.
Rosie, do you have an interrupt?
This
I was gonna say, is this next to me?
yeah, you're literally right next to him. This is
Yeah,
the
use
time.
Mighty Hero.
Alright.
If you have soldiers, now is the time.
Now is the time. If you have warriors. 22
20.
AC.
That definitely will hit.
Okay, so I take 6 damage. Okay.
6 damage. And he
It's a shame he hit me.
yeah. And then you also take the lose necrotic immunity or resistance if you had any, and ongoing 5 damage save into both.
Okay. I don't think I...
Which reminds me, I need
Had
to roll twice for
the-
rousing. So the necrotic fell off.
So I guess I'll do my attack. So that's with a +2, 21.
21 will just meet.
Okay. So 28 damage. And he gets the -2. And
end like this.
Is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use minor action. Use my Periapt of Cascading Health to end one condition that a save can end.
Nice.
So I'm not taking all that mumbo jumbo, and I'll end my turn.
Alrighty. Noir's gonna maintain his distance since he's already been hurt, and you can see this guy's pretty tough. He's actually gonna land a crossbow bolt. And he'll do 8 damage to this guy. One dart sinks into his back. Jondren's just gonna try and take a bow shot at him. And he's actually gonna fall short. Belknap.
Consistency trumps potential.
2.
I say as I
Bang.
prepare to deal another 8 damage.
Oh fuck.
Ooh, nice hits.
Both.
That's his beefy attack.
Fuck yeah. Both arrows just kind of fly true and hits through his back. Did you include your d6 for your quarry?
In the first one.
They both actually rolled a d6.
I just asked a core and it says yes. I'm like, okay.
Alright. So,
Well, subtract. You should discount one of them because you
I'll
don't get it
just
twice.
add back 2 and let him keep the 4. Both kind of sink through his body and they're now sticking out of him. Like, he's just like leaning on his staff.
Did you add the extra 3, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Argent.
Arjun has asked many people whether dealing 8 damage on a turn is ethical. He has decided yes. Continue.
So, you just see both darts, all the fucking connect with his back as well, as he like spits blood all over the floor. Gillar, list my spells. And he's gonna just, in his last defiance of his actions here, as you can tell, he's pretty done for. He's gonna look to you, Kesh, and immediately try and do the bolt of putrescence one more time.
Why are you after me?
Oh, collector! As it just goes completely wide, both Flora, Flora and Kesh, you get a free attack on him because he tried to do a range attack.
Oh, sweet.
Alright, I was gonna use one of my at-wills since they're the same anyway. To ignore the effect.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh, fuck.
So you guys could literally describe how you both style on this man.
So he has his back to Flora.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say that I like, as he's like just flailing a spell out, and I just like grab his arm and grab with one arm like grab his chest and lift him up in the air as Flora's like maybe her halberd like impales him or chops his head off or something.
Yeah, I was totally gonna just impale him.
Yeah, there you go. I'll just hold him up as you shish kebab him.
Fucking nice. So now literally he just drops his staff as he gets hit and you raise him up high impaled. That ends as he's like, that's combat.
I just say he said something about shit, what did he say, Josh?
The spell collector.
Spell collector, yes.
Well, to somebody that hadn't seen both, you do kind of look like that strange oak woman that we passed.
And she was inscribing those runes that we passed along the way here. Maybe she is the spell collector, and they just mistook me.
That would seem likely. They didn't appear to be particularly intelligent.
Well, I'm sure I'd hate to do any killing for free. Maybe we could go back to the spell collector lady and get paid for this. Or we could just keep going. Up to you all.
Let's just take what they have and keep going, in my opinion.
I doubt she'll pay us.
Oh, you doubt some mystical orc plant lady, lizard lady that wouldn't have some kind of reward for us?
Yes.
Yes.
Perhaps we should take a bit of a short rest first. And,
Oh yeah. Let's do
patch
that.
up these two.
And check this orc chieftain for spare parts.
You there?
Let me bend your ear for a moment.
Didn't we not travel very far, Josh?
No, you literally just got outside of the area of the fountain, and it's like right behind you.
Yeah. I want to walk back as they're looting. I'm gonna go get a reward.
I still had one unused, so I'm gonna immediately use my second healing word on Jandrin.
Thank you. As you can see, like some of the.
It was 2 1s.
Oh God. Well, at least it alleviates the burning sensation of his flesh being melted off.
Feeling of gonorrhea.
I'm like totally happy to just use these on other people because it heals me.
Oh my
I'll
God.
just keep doing it.
But he recovers 12 still from that. And he's definitely thankful for that.
That's sweet that it heals you too.
Yeah,
That's from a feat, right?
Yeah, it's
The one that gives strength. I think it's your strength, right?
it's one of them. Battle healer. Yeah, it gives me my strength in hit points whenever I use it.
And so everyone's recovering, and as you're kind of sifting through his stuff, Argent, while Kesh goes to get her reward. Kesh, do you bring anything from the orcs, or just walk back there?
Did that main orc have anything on him? Because I might have grabbed something just to prove that I killed a bunch of them.
He has like this little pouch flap with his tribe symbol on it.
Yeah, I'll definitely quickly grab that. Can go.
It's just a leather hide bag piece, but it's definitely still has the symbol on it. And
I'm wounded, obviously, too.
So, Argent, real quick, you do find that this orc has a battle staff +1. The cloth that he's wearing, though very savage looking, is sudden recovery armor +1. And though it looks very old and primitive, it looked like he could never get it off, but it was still enchanted, maybe while he was wearing it, and it's a collar of recovery. It's definitely a slave collar, though.
Alright, I don't know if I'm gonna cut up the orc's body to retrieve his immovable collar. It happens to be. I mean, it is residium, though. Okay, Argent won't butcher his body, no.
I mean, Flora might.
Flora might.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
happily
butcher
will.
his body.
Oh, what's this? As you like rip his head off.
Savages? I don't know what you mean. We're sophisticated people.
It seems like the wrapping came off with this necklace.
Da magic item.
Oh my god.
I take, yes.
Fucking animals.
Fucking animal.
So
It's part of D&D. You kill something and you're like, man, you know, these bloodstained clothes would look really good on me right now. And you're like, you slip into them, you're like, ooh, that's comfy.
Feel stronger.
Kesh, as you come back, you can see this woman and her maul-like weapon kind of kneeled down near the pool, and she seems to be coming to the end of whatever ritual she was casting. As she does, though, it almost looks like for a moment as if there was an avatar of almost like a humanoid snake of magnificent strength around her.
Just leave.
As there's arcane energies flowing into her. And towards the end, in the mists, though you see it briefly as it ends, it almost looked like the face of a dragon.
No step on snack.
I'll just wait like a few seconds after I'm just to make sure she's done doing whatever she's doing, and when I'm sure, I'll call out to her and say, "Are you the one they call spell taker? Is that right?" I don't want to say the wrong thing.
The spell collector.
Spell collector. Are you the one they call spell collector?
With that, she's definitely a lot more alerted, and she kind of stands up and looks to you, and you can see almost like a burst of arcane energy kind of flow through her mace.
I don't flinch. I'm standing there casually. My mace is out. It's dripping with like orc spinal fluid and guts and bone. And I'm in my other hand. I'm holding the symbol, and I'm just holding it up. I don't know how those stupid orcs could mistake me for you, but they did.
She studies you for a moment before she kind of relaxes her posture a little and starts approaching you slowly. An orc woman with different features to the other primitives here. A huge maul and strange-looking armor.
Well, when you put it that way, in any case, they mistook me for you and tried to kill me. And I'll just toss that symbol on the ground at, like, kind of close to her feet.
She
recognize them?
The singed ones. They seem to believe that since all of them can hurl a fireball, that they're blessed by the great lords of old. I'll have to pay them a visit and make sure they're snuffed out for sure.
Well, I'd appreciate that, but think more. I did save you from being interrupted in your ritual.
Sound like an insurance salesman.
You know, I'm gonna have a few more scars that I didn't exactly want. And she'll just kind of look at like her arm that's like all necrotic, like burned and shit.
She's staring at you very intently. Roll me a diplomacy.
Okay. I'm gonna try the stick. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, good reference.
She tries it back and seduces you. No!
What?
I hand her the ring so she can really try the stick.
There's maul on maul tip touching action. Who's got the
My
bigger hammer?
diplomacy is horrible. Is there any other skill that I could use?
Well, what do you think would be adequate for a skill check? Like, describe how you
Well,
use it.
Okay, so
Maybe you flex or something?
maybe my reputation, and also I'm implying that I just murdered a whole orc death squad.
Wait, like
She
what
doesn't know. Well,
reputation
she
did
knows
you
I have friends,
have?
but what? What'd you say?
Like what reputation does she know of right now?
That I'm covered in blood and
Huh.
battle wounds, and I'm beefy as fuck. I don't know. I was it might be a little bit of a stretch,
on my board.
You're like,
but perhaps maybe she has heard of us. Who knows? Maybe word has spread about the temple already.
We're famous, you know.
I don't know.
I'm thinking
I
of
think
the
that's not
Waterdeep
diplomacy.
campaign.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would definitely accept athletics, because she seems to be eyeing you up as a warrior.
Yeah, I'm a warrior, and more importantly, I do kind of want to get the point across that I'm like a mercenary, and I'm expecting, payment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course I roll low too.
As you tense up, it's still pretty showy, but you're a little cramped up from the necrotic energy, but you still maintain a good physique. And you can tell she it does savor the fact that she doesn't have to deal with pieces of shit today.
Yeah.
So you can see her kind of rolling the tips of her gauntlet together for a moment. And she reaches into one of her pouches and, what's your name?
You kind of cut out for a sec. What did you say? What's your name?
Yeah, what she's asking you, what's your name?
I'm Keshi Rem.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't heard of me, you will before too long.
She
I ran into a man an orc named Zobgron.
You could see her kind of raise an eyebrow, impressed at that especially that you know who that is. And she pulls out what looks like a diamond.
Ooh, good name drop.
good name drop there.
And as she kind of steps forward, you can tell that she still hasn't dropped her guard, as there's still some arcane energies flowing about her.
Right.
And she holds it out to you. Salerna, the spell collector.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Salerna?
Yeah.
Salerna, okay.
Post.
Got it. Wrote it down. Although I do hope to have Zobgron's head on a pike one of these days and take his mace for my own. I hope you're not a friend.
That filthy slave couldn't even get near my rank.
Oh, he's a slave.
But I think it would be amusing to hire you to kill him someday.
Well, I am all for that. I was going to kill him anyway. But to get paid for it... Well, and she kind of rubs the diamond before putting it in her pocket.
Mm.
You will definitely have a deal. You have only but to ask.
What tribe do you belong to?
I have my own tribe. I haven't yet named them. I am the leader, of course. We're new. New.
Probably never heard of us.
Yeah, you know.
New kids on the block, Just came in.
I'm sure you will watch my career with great interest. Another Star Wars reference. But thank you for the transaction.
I will definitely be seeking you out if I need more amusing matters tended to. Expect my messengers.
I will. And Keshi will give her like a nice kind of bow, but it's probably a little awkward because she's wounded and doesn't really bow to people very often.
Yeah.
And then
she doesn't even budge when you do that. She just kind of keeps her eyes on you.
Yeah. And then I'll just, with a smirk, turn and walk away. And kind of be like, what the fuck was I thinking? Why did I do that?
Yeah, because, like, when you were standing next to her, like, it's one of those moments where the air feels extraordinarily heavy.
Yeah, like, Keshi is, like, itching her skin. Like that woman gave me chills. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll kind of...
Also, on a side note, her eyes were not normal at all. They were clearly snake eyes.
Wow, creepy. As soon as I get out of sight, I'll start jogging.
Yeah, like you
catch back up to everyone.
You turn the bush and it's just like, go, just go. I don't know what I did, but I did it.
There's shit over there. I don't like it.
And I think that's a good point to leave off on.
Yeah, perfect.
Keshi comes running back to the group.
Because I think at first I may have underestimated her power, but she is like top of the food chain.
Yeah, especially walking around here alone.
I mean, if she's writing her name on all of the posts, do you think she's a piece of shit wimp?
Well, I didn't know at first, but gauging her up close like that and seeing like her even partially like battle stanced. But if she is bigger than Zobgron, and Zobgron's bigger than that giant, and that giant could squash us like bugs, wow.
Yeah, a lot of local competitors.
Yeah,
that would be the first actual half snake person that you've seen though in this area.
Yeah, half snake, half orc. That was very interesting. But yeah, great session, Josh. Thank you.
Glad you enjoyed it. I look forward to next week. Oh, I love all your interactions. It's always so unique.
Relnak got to slay a lot of orcs that he didn't slay last time. So.
It's true. He made up the differential.
Yeah, you still have a while to get up to my orc kill counter. I killed at least 60% of them.
It's true.
I don't have AoE, I'm sorry.
There's like 5x5 squares, like 2 to 3 full rows, and just boo, boo. Argent's kill count wasn't so high at the start of the game. After that temple, Jesus Christ, his KDR is amazing.
Yeah, he hasn't even died once yet.
Keshi has the most damage output roster, though.
I'm built for 1v1s. I actually even retrained the one AoE daily I had because I'm like, if we need AoE, Argent's the man. I'm not ever going to try to focus on that.
I don't deal damage though. All I do is CC.
That's good though, because your CC's put Marok to sleep instead of letting him cast another fucking putrescence bolt. That shit hurts.
I noticed.
Like, let's go. Like, looking over his fucking spells, like, he has a few other AoEs he didn't get a chance to use, but fucking, since you were able to close the gap when he was asleep, he didn't get the chance to use it. And also, his rotting touch is disgusting. Like,
yeah, as soon as he hit me for half my health on the first turn of combat, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna nope the fuck out. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, he recharged that immediately when he was asleep, which means he would have had that at the start of the next turn if he wasn't passed out.
Yeah.
That would have really fucking sucked.
It would have been nice to get a coup de grace, but Velen